Ambassador Metso, thank you so much for sitting down and speaking with us and inviting us into your residence.
It's my pleasure to host you here. Thank you.
Thank you. If we could just start off with you introducing yourself briefly.
Yes, my name is Pekka Metso and I'm the Finnish ambassador here in Republic of Korea. I have a long career as a diplomat, 35 years in this profession.
So to begin, we're talking about happiness and happiness rankings around the world, and I'm sure you're well aware of Finland's title as the happiest country in the world since 2018, which is quite impressive. So where exactly is it that Finland's happiness comes from?
We have a good governance. People believe that things are handled mostly in their favor. We have a democratic society where people think that they have something to say. One thing that's very crucial in our case, that we have maybe built up trust that goes deep, deep, deep and helps people then to believe also in their future.
Analysts who study the happiness rankings, they oftentimes bring up work-life balance when it comes to Finland.
Work really means a lot to us, and people really want to have careers, they want to get education that brings them to the field in the working life where they can fulfill their dreams, what they think they would like to do professionally. But then at the same time, we believe that you really have to reload yourself. So we have created a system of course, normal holidays, but then also if there are some special times in your life, like for example when if children come around, or then also if you have some difficult times. So we have built up systems that even during those times there's a safety net.
One thing that really impressed me was about the welfare system in Finland that supports people of all walks of life.
First of all, we have a free education. We have, it doesn't matter which part of the country you grow up. You can be in a small village school in the middle of the country, and you can, in the state exams, be on the top, because our teachers overall are very, very qualified and motivated people. Then also the health system. I think the healthcare system is working quite well in our favor. I personally think that when you are honestly, seriously sick, you always get the help. And when you get sick in Finland, it's not financial catastrophe to most of the people. And why all this is possible in terms of the social services is, of course, that we pay taxes, and we always say in Finland that we are happy taxpayers. We trust that we have a future, and we trust that our efforts are worth of being taken.
The general view is that happy people are blatantly laughing and smiling and talking about how great life is, which at first glance may not be what people see when they see people in Finland. So, I mean, do we have this Finnish sense of happiness all wrong?
The 5 years ago when the first time Finland was chosen the happiest country in the world, I think the reaction was that time by the Finns exactly like that. What? We are not aiming to be happy. It's not a goal in the society. So I think that's true, that the happy is maybe not the right word. Satisfied, content, then maybe people feel more like, yes, that's what we are talking about, but not that this happiness would be this kind of like the ground superior state of mind. It can be something else, like you learn all the time something new that gives you satisfaction.
Rankings aren't everything, but it's quite aspirational to see Finland and other fellow Nordic countries consistently at the top. And it's probably why the world has latched on to these Nordic type of cultural trends and concepts. In Finland, you have Sisu.
Sisu is like not giving up, sort of like that's guts. We are maybe sometimes more than other Europeans willing to put the difficult issue on the table and look directly into the eye of it, whereas somewhere else people would like to go around about it. But with the Sisu, with the guts, we think that only dealing with the issue you find a better way out and not giving up when the first difficulty shows up. So that's maybe also the recipe to us. We see a failure as most of the time the most important process for success, because then you have learned something.
So I want to ask, what's your impression of South Korea when you first came here? Did it seem like a nation of happy people?
You have a very dramatic development that in the history that you have left behind. So every day I'm amazed to see how fast things have changed in Korea. So of course that always needs a constant sort of like revisiting what makes people happy. But I leave it completely up to you Koreans to define deep down what makes you happy. One recipe of happiness, what I have been describing from the Finnish case, is not necessary at all easily to be adopted in another society with a totally different historical and societal background. I think it's important that the whole society listens to the population, what makes them happy in the Korean context. So this is a big responsibility to your politicians to listen to carefully how people find a balance in their lives, the way that they can feel content and happy.
Well, Ambassador, I would like to say thank you. I've learned a lot more speaking with you, and I think I'm a little bit closer to understanding Finland's source of happiness. So thank you so much for your time, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you. I've enjoyed it very much, and anybody watching me and this program, when you see me somewhere, come to talk to me, and we continue the discussion. So I'm open to any sort of interaction, and I want to learn also from you Koreans.